Okay, so it's back together now. Got all of the coils are reinstalled in there now, all soldered in. So let's get her hooked up here and see if we actually have some RF output now. Of course, she needs a speaker because that's unplugged. The speaker would normally go right there in that jack. Okay, moment of truth. Give her a second to boot up. Okay. Well, we can hear our tone. You can see the signal generator over there. Communications test set set to 28.005 megahertz. The radio is in AM mode. Let's see, we're in Hellways mode right there. We can switch to, well, turn it to FM, upper sideband, lower sideband, PA, and yes, this even has a CW key jack on the back. So there's AM mode, and the power meter on the test set is right there. It'll switch to, right now it's showing the output signal level. It'll switch to transmit power if we have anything. Aha! There we go. Audio. Audio. So she works. Let's switch to FM. Wow, that's way too high. 35.9 watts out of two IR F520s. Woohoo! Well, actually, it is adjustable because this actually has. Actually, I don't know. This is the first one of these I've ever worked on. So I know it has RF power here. Let's see if that's actually adjusts the FM output power level. Yep. Okay. So I can turn the FM power down to 1.84 watts all the way up to 35, which is way too much. Yeah, those little guys are going to go thermonuclear, so I'll have to adjust that. That's, like I say, that's way too high. And okay, we're in upper sideband. Audio. Audio. Flip back down and go. Okay, so that looks like it fixed it. That's all it was. Just really crappy reflowing of solder joints. So there's your lesson, people. You ever have problems like this with these circuit boards like this? It's actually a lot of times, especially with through-hole stuff, just to remove the part, remove all that old lead-free solder, reinstall it, add a little bit of flux, and resolder it, and basically start from scratch. So, yeah, I think the customer was thinking it might, because he, like I say, he's familiar with it being bad solder joints. I was thinking he thought it might be a transistor, maybe, like coming out of the regulator over here. But yeah, like I say, it wasn't making it from this coil to the transistor, or to the MOSFETs. So that's all it was. Actually, fairly simple repair. Now, it actually did take some time to do properly, and I think that's where a lot of these, I don't know if I want to call them hack shops, but a lot of these shops, they're trying to get the shit out the door as fast as they can, make a buck, and they do end up doing sloppy work. Like I say, do yourself a favor, do your customer a favor, do this type of work right, and you should never have a problem again. No doubt there'll be another problem with this radio at some point in time, but it should not ever be this problem here. That should be hopefully fixed for life now. And even looking at the top, a lot of people probably look at this and think, oh, that's not too complicated of a radio. It's got parts on the top and the bottom. I'm here to tell you, people, there's a lot to this little radio, because there's more up on the There's another circuit board there. So there's a lot of schematics for this. Actually, with 6 in total. There's one. Actually, that's the layout diagram. There's one. There's 2 with the microprocessor. 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yep, 6 schematics for this. And then, actually, I really like their layout diagrams because you can see they have these list the component numbers, but then they also have, this one flipped over. There's basically an accompanying, if I get it turned around in the right orientation here, there we go. So one of them lists the component number, but the other one has the values. So, and then same thing with for the other side of the board. Flipped around in the right direction. You can see one has component numbers, and the other one has the values or part numbers. So I actually really like that. They did a really good job laying out these schematics. I was actually impressed, you know, because and actually they did a nice job on this radio. I think board layout looks fairly nice. It's neat. There are a few components that are a little turned. Like I say, this is my first one of these, crack at one of these. So first time seeing one, and like I say, you can see. Let me get a non-conductive pointer since it is turned on. Let's grab this little guy here. You can see, there's some transistors, they're turned a little sideways, but that's not human error. That's, machines, because these are all components or pick and place machines. So, it pulls the part out of tape and reel, and then automatically, machine sets it down on there. So it's not uncommon to see, and it's not a problem. A lot of people say, oh, well, you got to straighten that out. There's absolutely nothing wrong. A transistor probably 50 years from now will be still working just fine. As long as this radio is still around in 50 years. As long as it made good solder contact, there's no problem with it being a little bit crooked. But other than that, like I say, good board. Actually looks like a fairly good circuit board. Like I say, the only thing is this, the layer system they got here, maybe a little, but like I say, it's repairable, and I think just using a better quality solder back there should prevent this in the future. Like I say, it's actually a nice little radio, so it was definitely worth fixing up. So now we'll get this one put back together, get the covers back on it, and I can get the other multi-mode or multi-band, the UHF VHF Falenco on the bench, and we'll see why that one doesn't transmit.